introducing myself. So hello there, Pascal. I'm a master student at Utrecht University. What you're about to hear is work I've done for my master's thesis, which is supervised by Atze Dijkstra and Hans Botlander. Now, Atze, you may know, he's from the wonderful, magical world of software technology. He cares about stuff like functional programming, compilers. He's one of the go-to guys from GHC. Knows a lot about optimization, and Hans, I would not expect a lot of you to know. He's from a different magical world of algorithms. He spends his days thinking about big O's, the really marvelly stuff, complexity theory, graph theory, and completeness, FET, tree width, and I've sort of been caught in between the two at cross-section. So we try to find a thesis subject at that cross-section. And as it turns out, compilers are these really wonderful candy stores for graph theoretic people with lots of really cool problems. And then when you go home, you tell your mom you've done that day, you can actually say, well, Mom, I did just write a paper improving some exponential algorithm a little bit, but actually I made some people's programs faster. So it's very easy to get enthusiastic about. And the loop breakers are a fine example of such a problem. So can I get a quick show of hands? Who has heard about loop breakers before? And who feels confident in knowing how they're applied in GHC? A couple of sort of hands. Okay, that's good. So I won't waste the first 8 minutes of slides. So loop breaking. First reference I found was in 4th century BC. This is Alexander the Great cutting some nut. Some guy named Gordius or something made. So people were trying to entangle it and it didn't really work out very well, so he just sliced it in two. So you may be wondering, how does this apply to GHC? Also was I. And to answer the question, we need to look at the inliner. So, well, you all know, I guess, what inlining is. I made a pretty quick, simple example. So we have these really simple functions, f is g and g is x plus y. You can see the graph representation of these functions. So f is a reference to g, and g references both h, y, and the plus operator. The good inline will notice that g is a bit of silly indirection in this case, so it'll try to inline the definition of g into f, and basically make your program a little smaller, cleaner, faster. So if you look at the right, g is gone, and f inherited the outgoing edges of g. Now, when does this get complicated? With recursive functions, let's look at really well-known one. Map, for example. Map has some outgoing edges, but it also references itself. So if you inline map into map, you get a bigger map, which inherits the reference to map from itself. So basically, the graph looks exactly the same. And you can imagine that this could be a problem if you're writing an inliner, because you go on, and well, not indefinitely. I mean, at some point, the universe dies of heat death, but you really like your program to compile before the heat death of the universe. In any case, so we like to get some trick to deal with this. One trick would be to just ignore recursive lets, but that would be a waste because Haskell programmers really like recursion. I mean, even the simplest loop looks like recursion. That would be a big waste to not inline there at all. So Simon and Simon wrote this paper about 10 years ago, and we can describe their solution to this problem, which is the loop breaker problem. Their idea being, for every loop in the call graph, pick a node and mark it to loop breaker, and then tell the inliner to never inline a node marked to loop breaker. So in this example, H obviously has to be a loop breaker because it has self-loop. There's no way to break the loop apart from breaking on H itself. And there's this really small loop, EQR, and it doesn't really matter which one we pick there, so I pick R. And then you can imagine from the perspective of the inliner, we just remove the incoming edges, or hide the incoming edges of the loop breakers, and we end up with this pretty nice directed graph where we can inline safely or perfect. So as you notice, there were multiple options here. We could have broken PQ R, doesn't matter which one we choose. Or does it? Because maybe R is actually a function we really like to inline because maybe it's really small or something. And in which case we'd rather pick P or Q. So we'd like to optimize this here. And actually there's another problem, or challenge in this example. So we have these two really small loops, FGH and FPQ. Now if we were to break, just pick a random breaker and pick P or Q, then we'd also have to break one of the FGH cycles. But because the cycles intersect at F, we could break both cycles by just picking F itself. So we have two goals. Don't break variables, it would be nice to inline, and pick as few loop breaks as possible. And GHC has a heuristic to try and accomplish this. This is another simplified version. What it does basically is, first of all, decompose the call graph into strongly connected components. Strongly connected component being the maximum component of the graph, such that for every node A, B in the graph there's a path from A to B, or even more simply put, a nest of mutually recursive functions. And for each component of the cycle, pick a node, make it a loop breaker, and basically, if the graph's still cyclic, go back to step 1 and try again. So this is a really greedy algorithm. I mean, actually, the two goals from the previous slide, we don't even do much effort to make it very good to reach those goals. Well, I said this was no simplification, so there are two extra things. First of all, GHC does try to prevent nice to inline functions from becoming a loop breaker by assigning this heuristic score to every node. For example, a really trivial expression would score 10, so I'd really like to inline this. A dictionary function gets score 9. A struct application, which you'd like in a case application, case elimination gets score 5. And then a couple more, and then you get 0 otherwise, so 0 means pick this as loop break, I don't care. And then there's this rule, don't take a score with a node with score n if there's still nodes with the lowest score available. And there's another optimization to make sure that it doesn't take too long. This is basically, otherwise it would be an n squared algorithm. For each score, just after 2 random picks, so after 2 jumps back to step 1, we'll just mark all of them of that score loop breaker. So, this is the meat of my talk. The loop breaker heuristic. Can we do any better? Obviously, we can do better, show some examples of do these actually recur in real life. If we can do better, we do so quickly, so quickly enough to prevent any problems with the detail. And if we do that, do programs actually benefit, so does stuff get faster? We'll come back to the slide a couple of times when we've answered these questions. And then at the end, I'd like to spend a couple of minutes talking about a parallel approach. Well, that's just a teaser. So, could we do any better? Let's take a little segue into the wonderful world of algorithms and look at a really classic one. That classic problem, feedback vertex set. The Hitchhiker's Guide to Computing Science has this to say about feedback vertex set. In the mathematical discipline of graph theory, the feedback vertex set of the graph is a set of vertices whose removal leaves a graph without cycles. Sounds familiar, right? We can use this kind of stuff. So, VD has more to say, has applications in deadlock mitigation, as you can imagine, and chip design, and so on. And it's NP complete. So, NP complete meaning we're still working on a polynomial algorithm. But until then, we have to work around it another way. I've applied this to breaks all of them. Yeah, does anybody want to hazard a guess here what the optimal set is? Yeah, so a hint is there are 3 notes in the element. There might be multiple correct ones, but well, no, I don't think so. We could do that. One more sample real quick, even bigger. So you can see the scores in action. So I don't think you can read the numbers, but all the orange ones have score 5, and the optimal set again is just easier. This is the entire noticeably programs. So the 30 programs, these are just 20. That's because we filtered all the trivial SECs, so size 1. So 10 of the 30 programs do not have any mutual recursion in them. And all the others, well, you can see there's a mix, right? Some of them are really simple, some of them are filled with really complex, large mutually recursive structures. I don't know if any of you wrote any of these programs. I think it's pretty inspiring graphics. So take anything away from this talk, grass looks sexy. So, let's take a look at some statistics. Noticeably has a little over 30,000 nodes in total. A little under 100,000 edges, 29,066 strongly connected components, of which 89% are singletons. So they could still be recursive, but they're not usually recursive anyway. Of the rest, a little over half are dictionary-ness, which are the special case in the paper I won't bore you with. The largest one has 85 nodes, and a few bigger ones, and there are 24 larger than 10. And what are the kind of gains we could expect here? GHC uses 2085 loop breakers, and the exact optimum will be set to 54, which is about 60% decrease. Now, obviously, it doesn't mean your programs will get 60% faster, but it might. So, can we do better? Yes. Can we use that quickly? Now, this is the meat of my work, right? I made an algorithm, which is basically branching bound algorithm. Branching bound algorithm is just it's just a little smarter than brute force, right? You just take all the nodes and try them all out. But this can get really slow, so we do some smart pre-processing to simplify the graphs as much as we can. What we do is split up in SECs and do the so-called prior wiggle to convert scores to blackout nodes, and apply a few reduction rules. I'll explain them here. So the prior wiggle, the prior wiggle got its name because part of my brain that has to come up with good names suspiciously malfunctions when I program. So that's why it ended up this way. The goal of the prior wiggle is to blackout nodes, or deny breakability of high score, while making sure that it's still possible to break all cycles. So how we do this, it's pretty simple. We find the low score as such that breaking every node with the small score results in an acyclic component, and black out all the nodes with the high score. So basically, it's a little bit more lenient, but it's played by the same rules as GHC. And actually, I told a friend of this, and he said that the prior was actually a dance people used to do in the early 90s. I don't know if you've heard of it. By the way, if anybody has questions, just interrupt me, please. Where was I? The reduction rules. Now, this is the blood, sweat, and tears slide, right? But I'll just skip through it real quick. I won't bother with exhaustive proofs. What we do is remove the duplicate edges, keep splitting up everything into SECs while we're reducing it. Breaking self-loops is an obvious one. Any nodes of degree 2 left basically look like this. I have one incoming edge, one outgoing edge, and we can skip the node because one of its neighbors, if we break one of its neighbors, that would give the same size solution. And when we encounter a cycle of non-breakers, we can't see the color difference very well. So G, H, E, and Q are all non-breakers, so the prior wiggle term, we weren't allowed to break them. So we have a cycle of And computing the exact optimum feedback vertex set takes about 2.5 seconds, which I'll note down in the acceptable column. Again, I'm sure you could improve much more.
How much of that time is spent loop breaking in GHC?
I don't know. I don't think it's a lot. So, can we do so quickly? We can. And then the final question slide, can we do so? Do programs actually benefit? So, I went to the great expense of trying to hack this into GHC. A really crude implementation. And I ran a no-fib suite. I took the slow inputs, turned on the optimizer, did 25 runs, and these were the aggregated results. I can direct your attention to the bottom two numbers there. You can basically see that it doesn't help much, really, which is a bit disappointing, right? There's actually just one program which has a really significant improvement, about 5%. So what's going on here? This is a bit disappointing. Well, maybe another thing you can take away from this talk is that loop breaker choice isn't that important. So basically, the science got right 10 years ago.
The no-fib programs are also quite old programs. Like they're very much numerical computation.
Yeah, I'll lay the benchmark at the second second bullet. What basically happens is, I know the inliner has more opportunities to inline stuff, but basically it seems to ignore them. So maybe if we had a more aggressive inliner, it would make a difference. Yeah, of course, so there's something, maybe no-fib just doesn't really cover real programs. For example, more than half of the programs take less than 200 milliseconds on my computer, and they're not even included in the totals because it's just too unreliable to measure something that quick, which is a bit of a shame. And maybe of the programs that do take longer, the test cases don't cover the changed pieces of code. And also, there's some untested advantages of this approach because, for example, this approach with some simple modification, you could not only have these scores, right, these priorities actually, but real scores, like real numbers, which, for example, get from a profile information to make even better decisions about which nodes are important to inline. So, do programs actually benefit? Well, no-ish. Not yet, anyway. I promised you guys another parallel idea. So, I'm calling these slides "Doing it on the edge." So let's take a look at this really simple component, this really simple cycle. We could break it by breaking F, which would be fine. But if we zoom out and take a look at the bigger picture, maybe F has lots of incoming edges and the others don't. So it's a bit of a shame to break F because now we don't, well, it looks like we're just breaking one node, but actually we're breaking 5 potential inlining sites, right? So it might be better to break on G, H, P, because inline lots more. So I propose looking at it not breaking the nodes, but breaking on the edges. So there's some advantages, the more accurate portrayal of cost, which I just showed you by example. And this is false aware, so we can more finely grain scores. So these scores, they signify how much I'd like to inline a certain function. But that also could depend on from where the function is called. So in this case, X is a construct application. So I really like to inline this because it ends up in a case. We can do case elimination, which is a real benefit, not just microsecond inlining stuff, but actual real code simplification. So we give this X a big stamp 5, score 5. But wouldn't it be a kind of symmetrical case if we have this case expression where we refer to X for exactly the same reason we like to inline X on the right in a different program. So why not give the outgoing edge a higher score as well? And it's not immediately obvious that would actually give a benefit. So it's not like we'd expect the program to go as fast here, but still it's not hard to mention a function where it's just a shame that it's recursive, because otherwise if you inline it once, stuff collapses by exposing other optimization opportunities. So let's go back to the overview. Can we do better? Yes. Can we do so quickly? Well, it's a bit slower than the vertex version, but I optimized it as much. And do programs actually benefit? Well, this requires a more significant overhaul of the GHC infrastructure. Though Simon had this really cool idea where you could, he suggested not overhauling the whole loop breaker infrastructure, but just adding adding interaction nodes on all edges, and then just breaking on those yes or no. And if you don't break on them, they'll be inlined anyway. So it might be easier than it looks, but for now it's some question marks. Thank you.
So this is a little bit of an ignorant question, but will GHC under any conditions inline the loop breaker sort of unroll by constant factor?
No. So that's a very interesting thing, loop unrolling, and they do a lot in the inverted language, but GHC doesn't.
Okay. Well, the reason I asked is I thought that if GHC were doing that, it might be one reason that GHC is sort of robust to bad loop breaker choices, and your results are not as good as.
We manually break also loop programs by making top-level non-recursive functions with recursive bodies. So, because if you had a recursive function, that's make inline. But if you do this in edges, could you then inline top-level recursive functions as well?
Top-level recursion?
So top-level math, for example, we usually do a SAT transformation using math equals go, where go is some local connection.
Yeah.
Because then you can inline math because math is not recursive. But in your second case, are you saying that you can now inline self-recursive functions too?
Just once.
But that might be enough, right? Because inlining points, the higher order arguments will be known at the cost.
It's hard. Yeah. So the thing is basically, if you inline map, do you make a point to the old definition of map, or do you also adjust that outgoing edge to the new? So I guess you're referring to specialization of the map function?
Yeah, so if you inline math in general, you can often find specializations because the
Yeah.
higher order argument is now known.
It would be a waste to keep passing that around as an argument.
Right, then it would be an indirect call if you don't inline because you don't know what to call it.
Yeah, so that's pretty orthogonal to this, but it would be a nice presentation.
So I have some question about if you've applied it and have some specific data on happily generated parsers, because they often have this huge call graph, and I wonder what happens with the compilation time, for instance. I mean, it might strike particularly hard on happily generated parsers.
So parsers tend to look like these really big nests of recursive functions, which is fun, right? I mean, that's where you get real benefit from over the heuristic. But I suppose you're scared that the exponential algorithm will take too long. Is that the question?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I've built in now that it'll stop. It won't go any further than 30 nodes. So that's like really quick, like milliseconds, and any longer than that, it'll just break all of the functions. And even then, we do better than GHC because the reduction rules really take away a lot of the meat of these really huge. So I have another example if you guys like. So this from a program that the one program that got a benefit. This is one. It had really huge, strong tech components. So this is one of them. I guess it has over 200 nodes. And reduction rules basically make this. So, three of those nodes are non-breakers, so we only have to branch on 6 nodes instead of 206. Okay. time left?